welcome back to Drunk Confessions. I'm one of your hosts, Mia. Mio, Big Mio, a mischievous independent asshole. You know the spiel.
And I'm your other host, Gabe Amaral, also known as Father Larry, also Big Dog. Welcome back to Drunk Confessions, everybody.
On this episode, we have brought on an extremely talented artist from Wisconsin, all the way in the United States, who paints pop culture icons and popular music artists, has crafted paintings for Chance the Rapper, Rick Ross, and Kanye West, and who purposefully has never shown his face online. Welcome, Maha Sattva.
Woo!
Yo, what up?
Welcome to the show, bro.
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. Just don't call me buddy though. I'm sorry. That pisses me off.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I just feel like it's not very respectful. I'm not saying you did it on purpose, but I don't like that. I hate when people call me buddy.
Noted. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Just don't do it again, damn it.
Okay, gotcha. Now that we've cleared all of that up, we can get into the episode. So today we are planning to discuss how Maha came into the art world, how he was introduced to the medium of painting, and when he decided to finally make it his career. Our plan is to cover all of that good stuff and then see where the conversation goes. But before we get into it, we have to do our little tradition here on Drunk Confessions, which is introducing the episode all together. So I'm going to say intro, and then everybody's going to say now with me. Make sense?
I can try that.
Okay, intro.
Now.
Okay, lost you there. We'll try it again. All right, all together. Intro.
Now.
Nice,
Yeah,
much
perfect.
better.
Did it work that time?
Who the fuck is Larry?
So coming into the first segment, we just want to pick Maha's brain and understand what it took to get to where he is now. So Maha, take us back. What was the first thing that you ever painted? Was it good? Were you proud of it?
I mean, I didn't start painting. I started drawing when I was a kid, and I actually hated painting. Mm-hmm. I used to always draw like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z characters when I was a kid. That was like pretty much the only hobby I had. And so, I mean, I kind of like always did art, but as far as like painting goes, I didn't start painting really until like maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. I actually always kind of hated it.
That's impressive. Why did you hate painting?
Kind of just thought it was too hard, I guess, but So I took like some painting classes when I was in college.
So you went to school for art then?
Yeah, I went to Beloit College.
So then I guess we can assume that your goal was always to become a full-time artist then.
I always knew that's what I wanted to do because it was really like the only thing that I've ever really loved to do. So I kind of always knew that's what I wanted.
I think that's awesome because it's so rare that people can successfully take what they love to do and turn that into a career. But I want to talk about doing that exact thing. And I'm an artist as well. I'm a painter as well. And I found that when I started selling my work and turning my hobby into more of a commodity than an expressive outlet, like it made it seem like work, and it took away that creativity and that freedom from it. And it was almost like a burden to have to do it. So I just wanted to know if you've ever experienced anything like that, if you ever feel like that.
Yes. Oh my God. Actually, my New Year's resolution this year is to not take commissions. It kind of happened much over the last like 2 years. I kept like taking commissions because having all that money up front just was like so awesome. Mm-hmm. But then I got to a point where I could never like paint anything I actually wanted to paint. And it was basically like having a job again. I'm not built for like a job, Like I was working 2 jobs.
Wow.
Yeah, that shit sucked though. I mean, yeah, on my last day there though, they had this like presentation about some like new program they were doing. And I was like doodling on my paper. Like that's what I would always do. Like I listen so much better if I'm like drawing. And like the manager like comes over to me and like starts like tripping on me, and I was just like, dude, like you gotta like you're fucking spacing, dude. Like I don't know, I ended up just quitting. Like I was like kind of told him off. Like I didn't cuss him out. I'm a little bit more respectful than that, but like
you didn't call him buddy?
I should have called him buddy. Yeah.
So you go from working these jobs, right? And you always had doodling, you were drawing as when you were younger. So then how did you go from saying like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna start doing this? Like how did that come across?
It like had to happen. So like when I quit that job, I also ended up not showing up to my other job that same day, and so I quit both the jobs on the same day. And so like for a couple weeks after I quit, I would just pretend that I was going to work, and I would make art on like Photoshop, and it actually just ended up working out. Like it was like right after I quit, people started like wanting to buy my art, and so it like just happened.
Fell into place.
I like just put all my effort into it, like it was either I knew it was either that or I was just gonna end up going back to it like a job that I hated, so I just like had to do it.
I just want to put I guess a disclaimer out for our listeners. We did have to change platforms, so the audio from Maha's end is going to sound a little bit different. The conversation's still going to be great, so please stay tuned. We want to talk about luck and if luck had anything to do with your success, or if you think that you put in the work and that equaled the success that you got. What's your view on that? What's your take?
Okay. Yeah. I don't believe that luck is even a real thing at all. Because I don't know. I feel like the idea of luck is that things just randomly happen, and I don't know. I just don't buy into that at all. I fully believe that everything does happen for a reason. Like I started meditating around the same time that my art started blowing up, and if like maybe that's related, and I just now like putting those together. But I don't know. I've read a lot of like books about visualizing and how basically there's an unseen world that is like overlaid by the physical world, and basically like the unseen comes before what becomes like physically real. So I don't know. I really believe in that.
So do you believe
I
in
think
fate?
that in faith.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. That's what I would call it for sure. Like I don't want to go like down that path, but I believe in God like 100%. Like I've had some crazy things happen in my life, and like there's no convincing me like ever that God does not exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know. As far as like the visualizing thing goes, I feel like whatever you visualize in your mind is going to like lay like the blueprint for what your future life is going to be like. And the problem is that the majority of people have a vision in their minds, but they're not aware of what the vision is. It's a very like blurred, like subconscious vision and not a conscious one. And I fully believe that if you spend the time meditating and like visualizing purposefully what you want your life to be like, then it will more likely happen if you put in the work to achieve it, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. It's very clear. Just for your listeners, I don't know if you've talked about this ever before, but you've talked about reading a lot, and different people that you follow. So do you have any recommendations, or are there certain authors that you like to read?
So I would say Paulo Coelho. He's one of my favorite authors. I read his book. It's called The Alchemist when I was in college. And I don't know, I was in like such a shitty time in my life when I read that book. And after I read it, it just like sparked like inside of me, like the motivation to like get my shit together really. Yeah, that book is fucking like, I don't know. That shit is something else, man. If you understand it.
That guy's a Brazilian author.
He's amazing. He follows me on Instagram.
That's a flex.
That's sick,
if I've ever
dude.
heard one.
That is
super
sick.
cool. What about do you believe in omens? Like, do you believe, this is getting into such a spiritual talk, but do you believe that something will happen that'll be almost a clue in saying that you should or should not do something?
Yeah. That's, oh my God. Fuck.
Sorry, throwing big questions at you here.
I never really understood what omen meant, but now that you say, like, explain to me what that word means now. But yeah, I don't know. Have you ever heard of synchronicity?
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm pretty sure Carl Jung is the guy who like first like solidified the idea of synchronicity. But it's like basically like a insane coincidence that happens in your life, and there's no possible way that the coincidence could have happened. Too many things in my life happen that are just way too like crazy of coincidence for them to be coincidences. I think that when something like that happens, it's a clear sign that you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
I,
That's an interesting perspective on it.
have you ever seen the movie Donnie Darko?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Like in that movie, he has like this fear coming out of his stomach, and he talks to his professor or teacher, and he says something along the lines of like, people can see their future basically if they're on God's channel, but
Mm-hmm.
you could go off of the path that God has laid out for you. You're not able to tell what's going to happen because there is no like solid future. But if you're like following the right path, which is like your destiny basically, then things start lining up in a way where it's like you know what's going to happen next. And I don't know, I feel like when really crazy coincidences happen, it's because you're on like that channel.
Absolutely. And I think too, like it's not always even good things. You know, I feel like sometimes there's coincidences that happen that are just a bunch of shitty things. And you're like, okay, well, this isn't where I'm supposed to be, or this is happening
Right.
for a reason. Because that's happened to me, where it's just way too many things go into it. All of these omens that are leading me on this path that I shouldn't be on. And it's just like signs that seem spiritual that I'm like, okay, this is guiding me. I just have to acknowledge it.
I mean, like I really believe like in the whole like spiritual world thing, but it's also like something that I'm like I don't fuck with it because I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of like, I don't know. I don't want to like end up getting possessed or some shit. You know what I mean? So just kind
Yeah.
of like stay out of that. You know?
It's kind of like knowing that the Bloody Mary story exists, but you're not going to stand in the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times because you don't want
I'll
it to
do it.
actually
Fuck
happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do it twice and then leave.
Just leave Mary wondering.
I'll tell you like one, like I could probably tell you a few of them, but I'll tell you one of them. Like when I met Kanye West, I decided to just fly out to Hollywood for one day. Like I was literally in Hollywood for less than 24 hours, and we were sitting in an Uber on our way to the venue, and I got like you know, like Facebook will tell you like your memories from that day in the prior years.
Yeah.
So I got that notification. So I looked at my memories from that year, and like on that day, 1 year ago, I painted Kanye. On that day, 2 years ago, I
Wow.
painted Kanye.
Jeez.
And on that day, 3 years ago, I painted Kanye. So I painted Kanye
Wow.
That's faith,
3
man.
years
That is
in a
faith.
row.
Crazy. That's faith,
And
man.
I didn't like realize it. Then I look up and we're on West Boulevard, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and then like no, like God, this shit sounds like I don't know. Like when you
Like a
have
movie.
shit like this, it just sounds so fucking made up. But like I swear to God, like at that second, "Can't Tell Me Nothing" by Kanye comes on the radio in the car, and I like looked
Fuck
at Lala.
off.
Stop.
That's unreal.
Stop.
Yeah,
That's
I seriously
crazy.
felt like I was gonna like shit my pants. Like I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Man? Like, but yeah, and then like I don't know, it was shit like that. Like I don't know, like it's just too much at once for it to be a
Oh
coincidence.
yeah,
You
dude.
know?
Doing this interview, like I feel really motivated. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's because hearing someone else almost speak to their existence has made me fucking like insanely motivated.
Well, shit, dude. I mean, you should be motivated, not like because of me though, but you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You know, like I want to make sure that like everybody knows like there's absolutely nothing special about me at all. Like I'm just a normal person, and anybody can do anything that they want to do, and I fully believe that. Like there's nothing special about me. Like I'm the same as you, and the same as like anybody else listening to it. You know, like
Right.
you
Yeah.
just have to like just like as corny as it sounds. Like look, when I at my college when I declared as an art major, the head of the art department told me that I was never going to be a successful artist, and I just like laughed at him. I was like, "You're fucking crazy, man!" Like, I don't know why he would say that, but shit, like, I don't know. He was wrong because I'm way more successful than he
Fuck
ever
that
was.
guy.
No.
Fuck
Fuck that
that
guy.
guy.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. People that like shit on other people's like ambitions, or you know, like fuck that shit. Like, I don't know. Just like no, don't let like anybody ever like fucking tell you otherwise. I told this to my wife the other day, and I was just like, if I'm not willing to like help people that are below me, then I could never expect anybody above me to help me. You know, like I have no right to expect like Kanye West to reach out to me if I'm not willing to reach out to somebody who's not like on my level. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're not on my level. I don't mean it like that. Nobody's better than anybody as soon as like the image disappears. So
Sure.
I don't know. Do you know who Jordan Peterson is? He's
Let me do
from
a quick
Toronto.
Google search.
He's another one of the person's lectures that I listen to a lot. Like he has a lot of lectures about just basically like getting your shit together and like, you know, taking control of your life. But I did a painting of him probably like a month ago, and I wrote a letter to him with the painting asking him to potentially put me on his podcast. And when you asked me to be on your podcast was literally like the same day I wrote that, and I was like,
Wow.
Let's go.
right. And that's when I had the idea, like, you know, how the hell am I gonna like expect him to want me put me on his podcast if I won't even like go on someone else's podcast? You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like this is the first podcast I've ever done in my life. So
Oh, I'm
you know,
so
you got
honored.
Dude, it's
Wow.
sick, bro. Fuck. I feel honored, man. Fuck.
he's from Toronto, and then like you messaged me the other day, and that's when I found out you were from Toronto, and that was like already after I told my wife that, and I was just like, what the fuck are the chances of that? You
Dude,
know,
that's
like,
Omens,
crazy.
they're
That's
omens.
insane. That is
Yeah.
so sick. Guys, this is getting too spiritual for me, guys. Like,
Like,
holy
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
Holy fuck. Working with these artists, Maha, like when they first like reached out and were like, "Hey, like, you know, I fuck with your art and everything," were you honored, or were you just like this is what I'm meant to do? Like, this is something I've worked my ass off, and people that are hitting me up, like, this is what's gonna happen.
I mean, yeah, I was definitely honored, but I was also like fucking very nervous that I was gonna fuck it up, and I don't know, like with that when Big Sean hit me up for that like poster that I was telling you about, like, man, I was like scared, like so bad, because I was like, this is such a huge opportunity, and I don't know, man, like I just didn't want to fuck it up, and I mean nothing ever happened with that poster because the tour that it was for just like I don't know what happened, didn't like go through or whatever, but I don't know. There was a lot of fear like early on, and
Right.
I feel like that held me back like at the time. Like I could have like excelled like way more back then if I hadn't been so like scared of like falling, you know.
Right. I want to talk about the other artists that you idolize, and going through your Instagram, you paint Mac Miller so much. And I can relate. Like, I don't paint him as much. I do have a tattoo from his Faces album. Like, he is and was my favorite recording artist of all
Rest in
time.
peace.
Honestly, rest in peace. And I painted him once, and it was just such an emotional experience for me. Like, I listened to his music the entire time. Like, I just put myself in my feels to make the best possible painting that I could. So I wanted to know, does that happen with you, with these artists that you do idolize so much?
Yeah, I mean, Kanye West is my favorite artist, and then Mac Miller is my second favorite. So,
Okay.
but I mean, yeah, I mean Mac Miller's music, like I don't know, like that shit is just it's deep, like it's like beyond, it's like a whole nother level, like to me, because I was born like exactly 1 week before Mac Miller. I was born
No way.
I was born January 12th, 1992, and he was born January 19th, 1992. So like when I listen to his music, you know, I'm listening to a guy who was the same age as me, and like when like Kids came out, it was when I was in college, and man, like that shit was just like the best fucking music around. You know what I mean? Like I would just like listen to his music and feel on top of the world. I mean, even back then, like I was inspired by his music, but in a different way. But like as far as like using him as like a subject in my paintings, I feel like, I mean, like as his albums like went on, I feel like there was like more like darkness like that got into his music. I mean, obviously, like I feel like that's why he's so popular, is because as people like grow out of their like adolescence into more of an adulthood, like there's a lot of darkness that comes into your life just naturally, because you're no longer like innocent. You know what I mean? Like you now have like the whole world against you basically. And I mean, especially with like, I don't know, with like Mac Miller and like the Swimming album, like that shit,
Oh God, yeah.
like goddamn, like it's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm going off on tangents and shit, but like,
Not at all. Did you ever watch his Tiny Desk concert where he performs
I love that. I love
yeah,
2009?
yeah. That
Oh
shit is
my
fucking
god.
depressing, man.
It's so sad. It's so sad and
But it's a
beautiful
good
at the same
performance,
time.
though.
Yeah.
It is a good performance.
That's what you want, like, out of an artist. As much as it sucks, like, it's like you don't want him to be depressed, but like that's how you know like the shit that he's saying is real, because he's actually like visibly like upset while he's performing
Right.
it. And this doesn't have to do with the painting, but like when Swimming came out, like Mac Miller was just kind of like disregarded by a lot of people, and it wasn't until he died that like everybody was like, oh my god, Swimming is such a good album. And it's like, I don't know, that shit was a good album before he died, like I was
Yeah, it's
listening
like
to that shit
fuck
the day
off.
it
Do you
came
even know
out.
his mixtapes? Fake fan. Yeah,
No,
honestly.
but I feel like that's a lot of people that after an artist dies, a lot of people pick up on them. You can see that their singles or their albums are all #1 after they pass away.
I'm not into conspiracy theories at all, but like it's like that makes you wonder like about like record labels. Like at a certain point they might to them be like, this artist is worth more to us dead than alive. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying I think that's happening, but like I don't
Oh,
know.
but
what you're
it
saying.
is. But it absolutely is. You know the when XXX Tentacion passed away, like his
Rest in peace.
family has
Legend.
a whole shrine, this like whole massive room where people can buy tickets and go view his shit, which is fucked to me because it's so
That is
close to
fucked up.
home. It's not even like his record label's doing it, it's his own family, and they're still profiting off of him, which I find crazy.
It is what it is, because like also you never know in their situation, right? He could have been the one that was bringing all the money in for the family. You never know how the situation works, right? So
Yeah, that's fair.
it's fair enough to say, just rest in peace. Let the family do what they need, and let's move on from that.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it, you can't control what they're doing anyway, so
Exactly.
whatever.
Exactly.
So Maha, let's talk about Kanye West. I want to know,
The
like,
GOAT.
we can talk about painting all day, but let's talk about your favorite Kanye West album. What made you
Ooh.
love him? What made him
Interesting.
want to be your muse?
Let's go.
I mean, I can't really answer the favorite album question. I'd have to think about it for like probably like a year before I could
Okay.
answer that.
What first album you listened to that got you on Kanye?
Okay, so I was like 10 years old. I think I was 10. I'd have to look it up, but I remember hearing Through the Wire because my older brother played it for me, and I was just like, this is fucking amazing, like I don't know, that shit was just so good. My family's from Chicago, and so like him being
no
from
way.
Chicago was super dope. Yeah, like my mom and dad, they were both born and raised in Chicago, and then two of my brothers and sisters were born there, and then my parents moved here to Wisconsin, and I was born here. Unfortunately, I would much rather be able to say I was born in Chicago, but yeah, like Through the Wire was the first song I ever heard by him, and that shit just, man, like that's still like one of my favorite songs by him, like
100%.
and
College Dropout.
yeah, like that whole like album, he was like
Yep.
probably he was like one of the first people that like got me into rap music. Like it was him,
Right.
and then I also remember listening to like not the Chronic, 2001 by Dr. Dre.
Oh.
And I have vivid memories of playing Donkey Kong on Super Nintendo and listening to that. And yeah, but I don't know. Kanye is my favorite, mostly because I don't know. I don't want to say like his overconfidence, because I don't know. I think he recognizes that he's able to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, like, and not like in the sense of
100%.
like, not like in the sense of like I'm gonna like be an asshole just because,
Right.
but like in the sense of like he can accomplish his wildest dreams, and like I mean he did, and
It's
that's
100%.
why I love most for sure, like.
So Maha,
He's
would you
someone-
say like the majority? Sorry to
Alright.
cut you off, Gabe, but
No,
the
you're good.
majority of artists you paint, I feel like have struggled, right? Either struggled on the come up, they've struggled with something going on in their life, like that darkness that you were mentioning. So do you think that you relate to that? Do you think there's a pattern to why you gravitate to some of those artists?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you are going to be an artist, you have to have a struggle in your life, and because I mean that's what makes you interesting as an artist.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I definitely have like similar struggles for my life. I mean, I don't want to like go there's like things everybody has things in their life that, and when they think about, just like could wreck them, you know. And
Yeah.
I feel like being an artist is like being able to take that internal like struggle with whatever it is, whether it's in your past or present, and just like using the energy that could destroy you and using it to create something, you know, beautiful out of it.
I think
So
that's
I mean,
well put. Yeah. You don't have
Yeah,
to get into the
100%.
nitty-gritty details, but I think
No,
that's well said. Yeah.
it's very
well,
well
thank
said.
you. But yeah, I mean, shit, you're an artist, so I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about, you know. And I feel like, I mean, everybody has that within them. You know, there's people that
Right.
they just because they're not artists, you know, like there's like a guy who's a fucking mechanic, you know, or whatever. Like he's gonna go and build a really sweet car because, you know, I feel like it's just, that's the whole world, you know. It's just like being able to like
Yeah,
perform alchemy on yourself.
Absolutely.
100%. So, what's your painting process like? Like, I know some people drink, some people listen to music. So, like, how do you go about painting? Just tell us about your painting process.
As far as like coming up with ideas, a lot of the time, like an idea would just like pop into my mind, like while I'm like doing dishes or like driving or something, and I would just like I'll have to like stop what I'm doing and write it down immediately, or else I'm gonna forget. Like there's definitely been times where I'm driving and I'm just like, oh shit, and like have to tell my wife, like, you know, like hold on a second. But like when I don't have like anything planned out specifically, I mean, I just kind of like feel like whose music am I like, feeling the most right now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't drink,
Oh, okay.
especially while I'm painting. Like I would not be able to do that. I have a pretty bad relationship with drinking. But yeah, it actually probably sounds boring as fuck, but I can't listen to music while I paint because it's too
Really?
distracting for me. So, like I
Wow.
used to listen to the artists that I was painting while I painted them, but then I found it to be like it would make me too like excited, not excited, but too
Hyped
energetic.
up.
You know?
I get
Yeah,
that.
like
I completely
I couldn't
understand
like.
that.
So now I just listen to either audiobooks or like lectures,
Okay.
and a
Now
lot
you
of
have this
motivation.
podcast to listen to while you're painting.
Wow. Good plug there.
Yeah.
Good plug. Good plug.
Just joking.
Maha, I gotta ask you, what is your favorite painting and why?
Damn, that is a fucking hard question to answer.
Right.
I mean, my favorite painting I could probably say is this Kanye West one that's in my studio right now. It's the one I painted. I painted it as like his presidential portrait.
That's
I
sick. That is so cool.
like I made a tweet when I painted it because my goal is to give him that painting, and I tweeted like retweet this tweet if you think that I should be able to give this painting to Kanye West. And then like a couple of days later, it was like 11 at night, and I look at my phone and he fucking retweeted it, and I was like, whoa, holy shit! Like, so I took that as like he obviously I'm gonna be able to give him that painting, like, because that's literally what the tweet said. So I don't know. It's sitting in my studio right now, and I just like I'm keeping it. Like I'm never gonna sell that painting because I'm
That
like,
is so sick, bro. That's
Mhm.
fucking dope. I have your tweet here right now. It says, if you believe in me, think that Kanye West should let me give this painting, please retweet this. I'm 100% determined to at least get him to see this. And the fact that he retweeted that, like, dude, fucking congrats. That's a fucking
He met
huge
him. He
milestone.
met Kanye West.
he already has a painting by me, yeah. So this would be
Dude.
his second painting by me.
I love Kanye.
I fully believe I'm going to be handing him that painting. Like I flew out to Wyoming a couple months ago, and like I was just like, fuck it. Like he retweeted this, I'm about to hand him this painting. So I just flew to Wyoming with one of my guys, Kevin, and I mean I didn't end up giving it to him, but I don't know. That's just gonna happen. So you can just like when it happens,
Stay
you come
tuned.
back, like play this and be like, oh yeah, see, you said it was gonna happen.
That is
That's
so
so sick.
cool.
That's so dope, man.
I'm really trying to work with him though.
What are you trying to do
Dude.
with him?
Like I don't know. I kind of have like an idea because I do like sewing and stuff, but I also
so sick.
really like. I think it would be dope to like work with him where we did like this series of one of a kind like clothes that I painted on, like hand painted clothes, and so every piece of clothes would be one of a kind and like worth like, you know, like a T-shirt that's like
collectible.
$1,000 or something, you know.
Like
I
a
would
one of
buy
one,
that.
right? Like a one of one. Like it only comes out and that's it. Like, is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly, yeah. Like it would be the
Yeah.
only shirt ever like that.
That would
That's
be, you
so
would
sick.
become the new Jordan releases. You know, when
Not
they
even.
release
He'd be like
retros?
Supreme. He'd be like Supreme.
True,
The
true,
art
yeah.
of Supreme. And I fuck with that shit so hard. Like I love that. Like I love that method of thinking of just this is what we're gonna put out. Whoever gets it, and that's it. I think that's hard. That's super sick.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. That's what I would like to have happen. But you know, whatever happens, happens. I strongly, like 100% believe in myself that I will be working with him, and that's my goal for now. And once I accomplish that, then I'll move on from that.
Absolutely.
Can we just go back? Like I know we spoke about it before, but I had a big question because I'm obviously Canadian, Brazilian, and then both of my grandfathers are born outside of Brazil, so they're Italian and Japanese. So I'm multicultural, and growing up, I'm bilingual, so I speak Portuguese and English, and to be honest, I don't remember learning Portuguese. I just remember, like, I just know that I know it and I know how to speak it. So I'm wondering, like, when you started drawing and doodling, like, do you remember, like, how it started, or did you just grow up doing stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I grew up pretty poor, and so there wasn't like we didn't really have a lot of things to do, and
Right.
I just remember like whenever I would spend time with my mom, she would always draw these like cute little doodles and stuff, and I would just like draw with her a little bit like that, and
Right.
like I don't want to sound like depressing, but like I spent a lot of time alone as a kid, like, and
I don't
drawing
think
was
that's
just
depressing
Me
at
too.
all. I think
It's
that's
not depressing
very,
at all.
very necessary for children.
Me
Just wanted
too.
to put that
Me
out there.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't like really much else to do, you know, like we didn't like have a lot of money. Like a vacation had to be like something I had to like imagine basically, you know? So like
Yeah.
drawing it was just like basically something like a vacation for me.
Wow.
You
That's
know what I mean?
deep.
Like it was just
That's
like,
very deep.
yeah. I didn't mean for it to like be that deep. It's probably not that deep, but you know what I mean though. Like that was like
Absolutely.
my escape from reality was to be able to draw like as a kid.
I think that's interesting. And I also think it's unique to have a craft that you've dedicated most of your life to, yet don't associate your identity with at all. I mean, you have this whole kind of Banksy thing going on where you have a whole network of people who love what you do, but don't know who you are. So I'd like to know, why are you doing that? And is it something that you are doing purposefully?
I haven't like purposefully like went and showed anybody because I don't want anyone to like I don't know. I don't want me to be confused with my art. You know what I mean? Like it's not supposed to be about me. I wanted a way to use social media without just like being one of those people that just like post pictures of myself all the time and just like slowly shows their life becoming more and more miserable without and pretending while they're still happy. I mean, just like talking about like Mac Miller again, like I feel like fame can like ruin people. Not like it could ruin you in the sense of like becoming like egotistical, which is something I'm like very cautious of, like, as I don't know. I don't like egotism.
But don't you think it's a contradiction because you idolize Kanye so much?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, because I don't idolize him for being egotistical, and what's considered egotism is confused for self-confidence. And I don't know. I feel like he's just a very confident person in himself, and that's what I admire about him.
Right. So if we're going off stereotypes, I mean, the way that Kanye is portrayed in the media is obviously not favorable. So do you think that maybe one of the reasons why you choose to hide your identity is so that you're not looked at negatively in the public eye?
I'm not like scared of like how other people portray me, but I think I'm more scared of like falling into a trap inside of myself and like getting too like full of myself and not realizing it. I would hate to be posting pictures of myself and just like feeling so good about myself because all these people that I don't know are like loving me, and I don't know. I just really I feel like that's just such a like horrible like trap that a lot of people fall into, and I don't want nothing to do with it.
All right, we've reached the end of the episode, and as our listeners know, every episode, our guests give us a drunk confession. So it's a story that encompasses something embarrassing you've done, usually while under the influence of alcohol. It can be from any time, anywhere, with anyone. But because you are getting it off your chest, you have to start it off by saying, "Forgive me, Father Larry, for I have sinned."
Oh,
Literally.
okay. All right. Forgive me, Father Larry, for I've sinned. Jesus.
Nice.
Got it.
Nice.
And then I just go and blaspheme the Lord. All right. I'll tell you two of them.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
It's all yours.
Okay. So the first one I got. Have you ever heard of sleep paralysis?
Yes.
Yes.
Scary.
Yeah. I've had that happen to me like since probably like I was 10. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm not gonna get into that, but I was having that, and then I also was getting these like really horrible migraines. And this is probably 2015. I got prescribed these like sleeping pills to like help me sleep, and I took one this one night, and then it says don't drive on them, but I was like, whatever, I'll be fine. And I went over to my friend's house and drank a couple beers, and obviously I blacked the fuck out, like, because
Yeah.
I ended up crashing my car into the river.
No.
And
Oh no.
it was like 2 a.m. So I get out of my car and I'm like, I don't know how I didn't have my pants on, and
Oh boy.
it's fun. Like, you can laugh at it now because I didn't die, but
For sure.
I had to walk like all the way across town, and it was in winter, so it was like freezing cold. But I was so drunk, like I didn't like fuck with me. So I walked all the way from the river to my wife's mom's house because we were living in her basement. So anyway, I woke up the next morning and the police come and they're knocking on the door, and my wife's mom like calls me upstairs, and she only speaks Spanish, so like I had no idea like what the fuck was like happening. And I didn't have any clean clothes because my pants were apparently in my car still in the river. And so I had to put a pair of my wife's pants on.
Oh my God.
Because otherwise I was gonna go with my boxers, and I was not gonna let my wife's mom see me in my boxers. So I went up there and I was wearing these like really like tiny Mickey Mouse pajama pants, and then it's these two police officers there, and I'm just like fucking standing there in these fucking pink pajama pants, looking like oh my God, like I probably look like such a fucking fool. And they asked me like, hey, did you like crash your car in the river? And I was like, no, like, what are you talking about? And they were like, were you drinking last night? And I was like, no. But like I was apparently still fucking drunk because they were like, well, we can smell the alcohol in your breath. So I was like, yeah, I was, but I just completely denied that I had anything to do with it, and so I ended up somehow not getting like any tickets or anything at all. But my car was fucking wrecked, and
Jeez,
yeah, I mean, at the time, like I was like such a fool, like I would just like spend all the time with like my friends, just like smoking weed and being a dumbass, and now like I had no access to them anymore, and so like surprisingly, like this like horrible event just like somehow helped me.
You turned upside down.
Literally.
But, all right, I'm gonna tell you the other one though. So me and 3 of my friends were just like drinking in my dorm room, and we got like basically blacked out drunk and decided we were gonna go to the movie theaters. And so we go to the movie theaters, and I decided to sneak the fucking liter of alcohol into the theater. So I just like shoved it down my pants, and it was like so obvious I had this. Like oh my God. The preview started playing, and I pulled a bottle out, and I just like start drinking it, and like then I started to offer other people in the theater if they wanted a shot. and then the movie theater workers come, and they're like, obviously they're kicking us out, and so then I try to like start a fist fight with the guy kicking us out, and he's just looking at me like, dude, like just like what the fuck are you doing, man? Like please leave. So we drive back to my dorm, and we're all basically blacked the fuck out at this point. We go up to my dorm room. We had bought a bunch of shrooms that we were gonna do the next day.
Nice.
And so we decided that we would just take them now, and which was a fucking horrible idea. Then like all hell just basically broke loose. I don't even know what happened to my friends. They just like disappeared. I guess. Felt like I was actually floating like down the hallways of the college, trying to find like my
Jesus.
friend. Her name was Luna.
Spanish for
Yeah,
moon.
yeah, yeah. I ended up in her room. I'm pretty sure I convinced her that I was the devil because I thought I was the devil. Like I was like
Diablo.
floating around.
Don't want to mix that,
I'm
bro.
pretty sure I scared the shit out of her that night because I was like, Luna, I'm like the fucking devil. I'm floating around.
Rawr.
But it gets worse than that. Then I
No.
somehow end up back in my dorm room, and my door is just wide open. None of my friends are there. But there's a note on my door, and it's from the paramedics, and they say that they came and had to pick up one of my friends from my room because they thought he was dead. And I was like, holy shit! Like I was ripping fucking balls like at this point.
Yeah.
And so I call my friend like frantically, and he answers the phone, and he's sitting there. He's apparently at the hospital in the bed, and he's just like, "Dude, what the fuck is happening right now?" And I'm like, our other two friends, they fed him mushrooms because when he got to the room, he was like trying to go to sleep. Like he was like so drunk, he like fell down on the bed and like ready to knock out. But they just were like shoving him in his mouth, and, like forcing him to take them basically.
Eat it, bitch.
And yeah, so he didn't even know until that point that he was like tripping. Like I had like broke the news to him. I was like, yeah, dude, like you're like tripping right now, man. Like now it's hilarious. It was scary as fuck at the time, but
That's
goddamn.
hilarious, man. That guy was
Mhm.
going fucking tripping. Like, he just in the fucking hospital. Oh my god.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes this episode featuring the one, the only Maha Sattva. We were so happy to have you. I think this is probably one of the
dude.
most intellectual conversations that we've ever had
Spiritual.
here on
Very
this podcast.
spiritual. Very
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for having me on, guys. You guys are both like super chill, and it was fun talking to you guys. So let me know whenever you want me on again. I'll be down for sure.
Yay,
100%,
perfect.
man. You got a couple of Instagram followers, man. Like I'm like, yo, you guys gotta follow this guy. This guy's sick, bro. I'm fuck with this guy.
You can listen to this podcast anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. You can watch full episodes on YouTube at Drunk Confessions. And if you want to be just like Maha, visit our website at drunkconfessionspodcast.com to leave an anonymous confession.
And if
See you
don't,
later,
You're gonna
motherfucker.
roll your ankle. And if you don't follow us, you might roll your ankle. Your left one. Just saying.